guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I have an eyebrow routine for you guys, and this has been highly requested. I asked you guys on Instagram what you would like to see first, and the eyebrow routine actually was really close to the January favorites. So I'm going to be filming my January favorites tomorrow because it is the 31st, or actually today when you're watching this, so that should be up tonight or tomorrow morning. And yeah, you guys are always complimenting my brows, so I really want to say thank you. They've come a long way. Honestly, when I get asked, how I grew them out, I just always say literally just wait it out. My biggest tip for you is to just not touch them, but if you absolutely necessarily have to pluck them, what I do is I will basically fill them in really heavy with like a pencil, or the routine that I'm going to show you now, but just really heavy, and then pluck anything that's really like not near that shape. So anything that's here, it's definitely not going to add to your brow. It's not going to really affect your brow shape, so I just pluck those hairs out. So my eyebrows are pretty much shaped the way I want them to be, but I fill them in just to give them more definition. And because I do wear makeup, like a full face of makeup, I definitely want to frame the rest of my face. Your eyebrows definitely make a huge impact to your face. They frame your face. So I'm going to insert a clip right now of me getting my eyebrows started. I have never waxed my eyebrows, and I barely ever do the tweezing. It's only for just certain little hairs that are super stray and out of place. So I thread my eyebrows because it pulls the hair from the root and it leaves me a nice clean sharp look. I absolutely love threading my eyebrows. I do not break out from it. I am very sensitive, and my eyebrows get no reaction to the thread. So here's a close-up of my eyebrow. I like to keep them pretty thick and natural looking. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Brow Wiz and the Dip Brow Pomade. A lot of you wanted to know how I use this, and this video is going to be a talk through, so that's why it's a little bit longer, but I felt like it was necessary because I wanted to really walk you through the process and why I do certain things. So if you want to know how I get my eyebrows on fleek, keep on watching. Okay, so we're going to get started. I know I look a little crazy with my hair like this, but I have my hair pinned up because I just got it blow dried. So what I do with the spoolie is I comb the front up, and then I comb the rest to where they naturally head. So these hairs obviously go this way, and I comb this down, and then the same for the other side. This one is by Makeup Addiction. So for my usual brow and today's brow, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in Soft Brown. Sometimes I'll use Lingering by MAC, and I'm going to go ahead and swatch them so you guys can see the difference. So here's the Anastasia Brow Wiz in Soft Brown, and this is MAC Lingering. As you can see, MAC Lingering is a lot lighter, and it's a little bit like thicker of a line, even though I swatched them the same way. This one gives you a more precise line, but they're pretty much both warm colors, except the MAC is just a little bit warmer. So once you've combed out your brows, what I like to do is I like to twist up the pencil just a little bit, not too long and not too short, just enough. If you twist the pencil up too long, it'll break. The Anastasia one doesn't really break that much, but with the MAC one, it breaks. So I like to do it just a little bit, like I like twisting it up a bit. And then what I do is I start at the front of my brow, and I do really light strokes. So I hold the pencil pretty far back, and I'm holding it very lightly. Like I'm not holding it up at the front and like trying to pencil them in really harsh. So I hold it lightly. I hold it like as if I were holding a pen, very light. And what I do is I start around here. So what I start doing is I start making gentle strokes. So I'm just one direction going one way, and I'm just doing gentle strokes. Now you want these strokes to mimic hairs, and so you kind of want to do like wispy actions with your wrist. And so I basically just line the bottom of my brow very lightly, and I stop about here because this part of my brow is already pretty dark. What I do for my brows, I learned this on YouTube, is fill in your eyebrows sideways for the middle and for the front. So instead of going up, I kind of just will hold the pencil so that it's sideways, and this is basically going to give you less color and less pigment because the point is not hitting the brow. It's more of like the side of the pencil that's hitting it. This is going to give you a little bit more of a natural brow, I guess you can say, but just kind of going sideways and also upwards depending on where you need color. Obviously my brows are pretty sparse up at the front and in the middle, which normally that's what people have, like emptiness in the front. And then while I'm doing my eyebrows, I keep on kind of spooling them out. So I keep brushing the hairs, and this is going to spread the product and it's going to give you a much more natural brow. So if you don't like spread your brows, the lines are, you're going to see the lines. So if you spread them out, like you're spreading the color, it's not spreading it outside of your brow. You just want to kind of maintain this action just on your brow. It's going to spread the color and spread the product so that it doesn't look so obvious. And this is really, really important. Seriously. It's better to work on your brows longer and take your time and do really light motions as opposed to going really hard. And I'd rather do really soft strokes and then kind of work on it. So for the top of my brow, same thing, just like gentle light strokes. And I like to make my brow pretty much straight here, so I take a little bit of the color outside of my brow just so that I can connect the front to my arch. This is gonna make your eyebrows look a lot more natural as opposed to them kind of like being low and then arched. I like them to be pretty straight, lightly penciling a little bit over the middle of your brow. So as you can see, this brow is a lot shorter than this one. And so remember, just keep on blending them. So I know this looks a little crazy right now, and a lot of people are gonna say they prefer this eyebrow. If I was just doing mascara or like a really light eye, I would leave my brows very natural like this. But because I'm gonna be doing a heavier eyelashes, this brow is gonna definitely anchor everything else and look very proportioned. So I'm gonna go ahead and pencil this one in exactly the same way that I did, but I'm gonna speed it up because I have a couple more steps to show you. Once you've kind of got the brow that you want, what I do is I use a little bit of concealer. This is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer Duo, and I use the shade NC25, which is this shade over here. It's a lot more yellow toned. This is a very thick concealer. It's more on the dry side, especially when it's in this kind of like pan form. And I like that because it really just carves out your brows. The brush that I first use is the MAC 212. I like this brush because it's short and very stiff, so it really gives you enough precision and it really dispenses the product and picks up a lot of product. So I kind of dip it a little bit in the product, and what I do is I start at the front of my brow and I will basically kind of just pat the concealer where I want it and kind of spread it a little bit. Rather than doing one just straight line, I feel like I mess up more when I do that. Like I'll take too much of my brow. I just kind of work slowly and I will just outline my brow. Now a lot of people don't like outlining their brows. I used to not like outlining my brows, but now I do. I feel like it makes the world of a difference. So, you know, use as much as you need. I have my brows freshly done, so they are a little bit red. So I do like to clean them up. I clean them up no matter what. If they're not done, they're done. It really makes a difference. And it does also highlight your brow bone, so it's pretty cool. It's like a 2-in-1. A lot of people outline the top of their brows. Sometimes I do. And I know a lot of people use like a darker color because, or not a darker color, but a color that matches their foundation a little bit because it looks more natural. But I think if you blend it enough, you don't have to use two colors. I think one color is fine. You see, like this color is a lot lighter than me, but if you blend it, it's perfectly fine. So then what I'll do is I'll take another brush. You can blend it with that brush, but I use the Anastasia number 18 brush. I know this seems like a lot, but this is just what I personally do. This is a more oval shaped brush. It has like a tip, but it's different. So I like to take a little bit more product and then just kind of go underneath that and then blend it with this brush, because this brush is a lot easier to blend with, and so I just kind of move the product without touching the line. I kind of just move whatever's underneath it and then just extend it and extend it forward. So this brow has concealer and this one doesn't. I don't know, I feel like you can't really tell here, but it really does make a difference. Especially when you have a lot of hair, it really does make a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so usually at this point I would do my eyeshadow, move on to my face, and then later on in my makeup routine I will do one more step, well, second to last step. I take the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. This one is in medium brown. Mine is pretty nasty because I got some powder on it, like some translucent powder, so whatever. And my favorite brush for this step is the Zoeva Wing Liner Brush. Because it is so thin and really like angular, it's very pointed. I love this thing. I'm pretty sure it's synthetic. So I absolutely love this, but it's very expensive to ship to the US. So Zoeva in general. But I'm going to give you two alternatives that I use, or that I used to use pretty much. Sometimes I'll use this one, which is the 208. And it's by MAC, and I don't really like this one because it's too short and it's too stiff, so it like really packs on the color. And then sometimes I'll use this one, which I like better than the 208. This is the 263. You see how it's longer? The only problem with this one is that it has a lot more bristles than the Zoeva. So again, you have to be really precise because if not, you'll end up with a really thick line. But let me go ahead and show you. I'm just dipping a little bit into the pomade, which mine is pretty dry. I don't know why, but this one kind of can get a little messy. I'm going to go ahead and do it with the 208. That one will pack on a lot more color. And then the Zoeva one, which is my favorite, will give you like a more precise line. So even though this one's so thin and you have to kind of like work with it a little bit more, I think it's a lot easier and a lot better, and the results are a lot better. So I literally like touch the product. You want to clean off the edges of the brush alongside the anything. I use the container because your brush is going to get very thick if you just like dip it in and you just go straight to your brow. You could even use your hand, kind of just like adjust the product so that it's just at the tip. This is going to help a lot with people who have heavy hands because then it's more forgiving. Okay, this product is very pigmented, so like I said, tap it. Like, don't dip it, just kind of tap along and work slower. Take your time with this product because it is very heavy, but I think it's worth it. And what I do is I start kind of a quarter into my brow and I just do a light line right between the concealer and my brow. So it's basically framing my brow, and I'm doing it so gently because you don't want to look like you have really dark brows. I have jet black hair and I don't like dark brows on me personally. I don't like it. And I like this one, this color medium brown, because it has more of a taupey color. It's not so warm. It's not too warm, so I like that because it goes with my hair. For the top, I will do the same thing, just outline it a little bit. I personally don't like filling in my eyebrows with the dip brow because it's too much for me. So just outlining and then just a little bit on the tips of your brows. And a trick that I do with the spoolie is just bend it. It's not going to ruin it. Just bend this because then it's a lot easier to hold, and then it's a lot easier to just brush your eyebrow because it kind of just shapes them and it goes in the form of your brow. That's my brow. I'm going to do the same thing with the dip brow on the other side. I feel so weird without music. I always get ready with music and it's so silent in my room. It's kind of freaking me out. This eyebrow, my left eyebrow, is a little bit weird because it has like a weird spot here where it doesn't have like hair and it just never comes out perfect. Lately I've been using a tinted brow gel, not the clear one, but I do love the Anastasia clear brow gel. But I have been using this Tarte Amazonian Colored Clay Tinted Brow Gel in medium brown. What this is going to do is basically tint them just a little bit, and I like to use a lighter brow gel so that it'll just not add to your brow but kind of subtract from it a little bit. But it's also going to set them and keep them in place. So I just do like the same motions up at the front, not putting too much product all the way at the front. Kind of here, brush them up and then brush it to the side. And obviously you don't want to use too much product, you don't want buildup, and then just kind of like push the bottom so that they don't like mess up and rub off. This is gonna set them, but it's also gonna tint them, which I like. And I like this brush. It's so small and precise that it really mimics real hairs. My brows are pretty unruly, so they kind of like go everywhere, especially at the end. Especially when I wake up, my eyebrows are always like a hot mess. Now I look like I just have brows. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready, take this off my hand, and I'll be right back. So now that I've completed my full face of makeup, you can see that my eyebrows definitely frame the rest of my face and they don't look too extreme or dark because my eyes are pretty dark and I have eyelashes and everything kind of just balances itself out. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and next I will be doing a January favorites video and then a what's on my iPhone video, so I'm really excited about that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys. When you do a full New York, stay ready, and I have my full